Welcome to Aisha's Academy, and today's video we're going to be going through quadratic formulas, so all about the b squared minus 4ac. So quadratic formula is basically a formula that is used to work out solutions of a quadratic equation. And to refresh your memory, our quadratic equation is ax squared plus bx plus c. But if that equation is now equal to 0, then to work out its solutions, we use the quadratic formula, which is when x is equal to minus b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. So the b squared minus 4ac is something that we call the discriminant. So anytime that you hear the discriminant, that is basically that. And there's a few things that you need to remember about this discriminant. So if our b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, then there are two distinct real roots. So there's going to be two real solutions for that equation. But if our b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then there is only one distinct real root. And if our b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, then there are no distinct real roots. So bear that in mind. And then the last thing I want you to remember is that when we're solving quadratic equations where our solutions are whole numbers, then you're going to be using factorizing. And I've got a video link above for factorizing and expanding. But when you're solving quadratic equations where the solutions involve significant figures or decimals, then you'll be using quadratic formula. So this is to help you distinguish between the two. So now we're just going to go into some practice questions just to understand this topic. So example 1. So we have a quadratic formula that's equal to 0 and it wants us to give solutions to three significant figures. So we're going to end up using quadratic formula. So this formula is minus b is plus or minus our square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. The more you practice these types of questions, the more it will resonate in your memory. So the first thing is that we're going to make note of our a, b, and c. So our a is 3, our b is minus 4, and our c is minus 2 for this particular question. So now we know those values, we're just going to substitute those into our formula. So we would end up having positive 4. The reason why it's positive 4 and not negative 4 is because the two negatives would cancel out. Then we're going to substitute everything else. So we'd end up having that, take away that, over our 2a, but this time rather than 2a it will be 2 times 3. Now I'm going to split this up in this just to show you something. So the plus and minus, the reason why it's there is because you're going to do one version where you're going to end up doing the 4 plus whatever's in your root over 6, and then you're going to end up doing 4 minus. So this is why you end up with two answers for quadratic formula. You tend to have one positive answer and one negative answer. So working this all out in your calculator, you'd end up with x is equal to 1.72 and x is equal to minus 0.387. Example 2. So again, another quadratic formula that's equal to 0, and it wants our solutions in three significant figures. So we're going to end up using quadratic formula. So just rewriting out the equation to refresh your memory. Then we're going to write out our values for a, b, and c. So our a is 3 in this case, our b is 2, and our c is minus 7. Then we're going to substitute our a, b, and c values into the formula. So notice that this time for the minus b, it's actually minus 2 because there wasn't another minus there with the 2. So it would just be negative 2. and then that would be over our 2a, which 2 times 3. Then we're going to simplify all this using our calculator, or you could work it out in your head if you want. So it ended up being minus 2 plus and minus root 88 over 10. And remember, you have to do it separately. So you have to do, sorry, not over 10 over 6. Do it separately with the adding and the minusing. And that would leave you with x is equal to 1.23 and x is equal to minus 1.90, because 3 significant figures. And then example 3. So again, we've got our quadratic equation is equal to 0. Answer should be in 3 significant figures. So just rewriting the formula again. I always find it easier in maths that whatever formula you're going to use, write it at the beginning, so then you know what you're going to be substituting into. And it's very easy to get confused and forget things, so just to prevent error, really. So then once again, just write out your values for your A, B, and C. So in this scenario, A is 5, B is 2, and C is minus 4. Then we're now going to substitute our values of A, B, and C into the formula above. And then we're just going to simplify all of this. So in this case, we would be left with minus 2 plus and minus square root of 84 over 10. This is where I was going to say 10. And then remember, you're going to do one with the adding, one with the minusing. And that's going to leave you with x is equal to 0.717 and x is equal to minus 1.12. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was useful.